Hello and welcome back to the Quiet Part Podcast. My name is Chris. How's everybody doing? Got another day packed full of news and interesting things to talk about. Once again, joining me is Joey. Joey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Did you
All
know all
right.
magic comes at a price?
All magic comes at a price.
No matter how big or small.
Oh, what's that price?
I don't know. It depends on the magic.
Ooh,
Depends on what you're seeking.
that's very thought provoking.
I just want the people to know that if they encounter magic in their life, it comes at a price. So just think about it before you use it.
Hmm. I wonder what the price would be to have hair.
Well, that's a price that none understand because that's something that hasn't been solved in eons, or a century, or a millennia, or a lifetime. It is the great mystery of our time. People can patch it on their head, but to actually just get the well growing again,
Yeah, I mean that science has claimed that they were able to do it a couple times now,
I don't believe
but
them.
I don't think it's been truly proven out.
I think it's magic. So yeah, what would the price be for hair growth? Is probably you probably have to start losing the beard. Is it
You
worth
know,
it?
I gotta figure out how to do these YouTube polls because that would be a great poll question to put in the chat for people, right?
That would be a great poll. Would you pay the price for, or whatever the hell, specifically Magic the Gathering? That stuff
Magic
drains
the
your.
Gathering,
Yeah,
Enrique,
that's
you are
true.
on point. Did I ever tell you, Joey? You know, I'm so old. I've been around to seeing Magic the Gathering from its inception, and I
Oh,
even played it way back
in the card shops when he had hair.
when I was young.
You know
You
what?
know,
You know what? You know what
I
I
was
think?
only
I think when seeing you with hair would be like when you see Stone Cold Steve Austin with hair, you're just like it doesn't look right. He needs to be
I,
bald.
I had hair longer than yours at one point.
Oh my God, that must be what happened. What'd you do? What price did you pay? What magic did you do to pay, and the price was your hair?
You know, I got it figured out. I never once got carded for cigarettes or alcohol as a teenager.
So that was the price you paid. The immediate pleasures for the long term negatives.
Yeah. But
Any
anyway,
and
back to my
yes.
Magic the Gathering story here. You know, Tim talks about Magic the Gathering all the time, some of his more rare and expensive finds. If you've ever heard the term, the card Black Lotus, you know, from the Alpha deck, the original game, I have physically had my hands on one before, and that's like a $80,000 card. You know, it wasn't mine, but I did play with a guy who owned them. It was crazy. If anyone would have told you that card was worth that much back then, I mean, it was rare, sure, but it it was useless. So why it was so valuable was beyond me.
Why do you thin your hair when you get your hair cut, Iris? You don't want thick hair where you like combing it is like
I'd
mowing the
imagine if
lawn.
it's long hair and very thick, it's also very heavy.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair.
See, Iris answered at the same time I did. Apparently,
So
it's
so wait,
heavy.
wait, is your head like forever like this? You're just like, is that why pretty girls with the long, nice hair they're always like resting their head like this because their neck is just so tired from holding up their thick hair?
You know, you get the Valley Girl. I don't know, and she just keeps doing this backwards forth motion because she can't stop. The weight just keeps swinging.
Yeah, actually when I had my hair long, I actually broke a couple of hairbrushes as well. So I understand what that's like. I was like, shh, and it just went, and I'm like, what? No way.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be combing your ass hair, man.
Ugh, well, I'm not gonna. Anyway, moving on.
All right. Well, what do you say we get into some of these topics? We are going to have to be careful on one of them, Joey. Believe it or
Uh
not.
oh.
You know,
Don't tell me which one. Surprise me.
you'll know it when you hear it. You know,
Just like pornography. I know it when
it's
I see it.
stuff that it's stuff that YouTube. You have to be careful with how you say these things. So, you know, be prepared.
I'm a wordsmith. Don't worry.
You're a wordsmith. What kind of words are you smithing?
Wordsworth.
Well, this shows how unprepared I am. I don't have my screen share ready to go.
That's okay. I'm gonna go mute myself as I chomp on.
All right, you mute yourself. All right, here we go. Biden slammed for stealing credit for Israel Hamas ceasefire. New report proves Trump got it done.
I hear rumors that Netanyahu's not too happy with Trump.
Well, I can't imagine he would be
We
because,
fixed we fixed the echo right as the show ended, guys. Last
yeah,
night. Sorry.
literally, I went through the settings and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I'm like, mother,
He's like, "How
I
do you sound
can't.
now?" I'm like, "Beautiful, beautiful, the best I've ever heard."
I sounded as beautiful as I look.
Oof. Like a 1920s phone.
Ooh,
Ouch.
1920s phone.
Hello.
I don't know if you know what that would actually be.
It would be that little thing right here, right? Where they hold it up like this. Hello, and you gotta hear it through the sound. Let me see. I'm gonna
Anyway,
Google it. Anyway, continue.
so Biden's farewell address last night, he claims credit. He put out a press statement that he got it done. And for the most part, yes, Biden's administration has been working on this deal for a hot minute now. And if that's what he would have said right from the beginning, no worries, right? If he would have said, yeah, we've been trying to get this deal done, we just couldn't get it across the finish line, and it did take the Trump team to come in and get it done, that would have been cool. No, he is trying to take credit for all of it. And the problem is, we knew it yesterday, we know it today, and even more has come out since yesterday, proving that it was Trump that got it done.
I don't want to talk about this great peace deal until I know for sure that the peace is going to be kept, and I have high doubts that it's going to be kept. So the whole thing just reeks of political points from both sides.
If it gets the hostages home, that I will consider it a success.
That's fair. But if they just start fighting again and taking hostages again, it's just like whatever.
Yeah, we'll get new hostages. You got to change those out every now and then. Otherwise, people stop caring.
It just becomes like a game at this point, like a game of chess. Be like, all right, now I'll swap my piece for your piece, and it's just like, okay. What's up,
What's
Shane?
up, Shane? I see Melted too. How y'all doing? Um, yeah, but we got video of CNN hosts who hate Donald Trump. Commentators talking to Don Lemon, actually sitting here saying, and they preface it by saying how much they hate Donald Trump. And they go, and yes, everything I'm hearing from correspondents on the other side of the planet is this wasn't happening without Donald Trump.
It's strange
And
that they would admit that.
well, they hated doing it.
They're like,
But for them, at the end of the day, they're like me. If this gets the hostages home, if it has a chance of maybe stopping the fighting for even a little bit, they're all for it. Hell, Dave Smith put out a statement saying, okay, Trump's got this done before he's even been inaugurated. If he can manage to, in a very short order, do the Ukraine-Russia thing, this man earns a spot on Mount Rushmore.
he probably earns a spot there already. I mean, we haven't let's be honest. If we go through American history, this might be a little side rant, but I'll try to make it quick. But I was thinking the other day about how complaints from the black community about what the government's done to them, and a lot of times people on the right will be like, they'll kind of defend history or the government as if it could never happen, and I'm just like, but it's happening to our side now, it's happening more to white people now, and I'm just like, why we can acknowledge that the government is bad and they do shit like that, but so my point with that is there really haven't been that many good presidents if we really think about it. The
No.
first couple were good, and that you could even argue John Adams wasn't even that great of a president. There's been a handful. You probably can't use 10 fingers and name a good president.
I don't think I can do 5.
Washington, probably Jefferson. It depends on what your definition of good is. Like
And
maybe we could do a show about this one day. Just deep dive on like the net positives of every president. That'd be fun.
and that is the hard part. It's you got to find your objective metric that you're measuring their
Because
goodness by.
many people could say Andrew Jackson was a good president, but on the same token, he was a bad president. It's tough.
The,
It's not an easy job, but like he took an axe to the banking cartel, and they kind of stayed dormant for about 20 years after that.
I mean,
So
they
that's
could
a
say
great thing.
Jimmy Carter and Joe Biden were great presidents because they were nice.
Yeah, but that's not like an act that they've done. Like being
Well,
nice. Like who
it's
cares?
an act that they have done. Yes,
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean
it's
Jimmy
not
Carter,
like
I think genuine, but Joe is clearly an act.
can we like maybe Theodore Roosevelt? I don't know. Like, but like some of these guys who are like great leaders also kind of just like ignored the Constitution.
Oh,
I think
sometimes.
about it like Captain Kirk versus Picard versus like Cisco or whatever. Like Kirk was a great leader and he inspired his men, but man, he did not listen to the Prime Directive at all. All that man did was interfere.
Thinking about
Yeah,
Jackson, so many good things, but marred by some bad. He was an
yeah.
impressive man. And
Sounds like
then we
Michael
got
Jackson
this
too.
one. This one from Shane Harrison. He only served 30 days and he didn't have time to have things up.
Well, why did he only? Was this the one who died of like a sickness? Because I know there was another guy who kind of got assassinated very quickly into his presidency.
I am not familiar.
I know somebody died because they got pneumonia or some shit. One of those 1800 presidents.
Well, when you're 1800 years old, it's bound to happen.
Yeah, right. A cold will get you. Be like, no, I've avoided it for so long.
So yeah, I mean, Joe Biden in his inaugural or his farewell address, he talked about some other things too that were kind of impressive. He wants to uh, say that he tried and he's still hoping that we can do things like end presidential immunity. This was great, by the way. Get dark money out of politics. Term limits for SCOTUS. Um, there was another one that was particularly funny. Oh, the stock trading thing. Ban that for Congress. I'm like, okay, I agree with 2 of these and I disagree with the other 2. Which do you think I agree with, Joey?
Stock trading and oh crap, I forgot what the other one was. The one that you said after presidential immunity.
The dark
Right.
money.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, you got it in the first guess.
I mean, it's fairly obvious. That's what most people agree with.
Now, can you figure out why I don't want to get rid of the presidential immunity or the term limits for SCOTUS?
You know, well, because like we discussed with Andrew Jackson, the president has to sometimes dabble in evil as they dabble in good. So
Well,
we can't listen. If we're gonna get rid of presidential immunity, then Bill Clinton goes to jail, George Bush goes to jail, Barack Obama goes to jail, Donald Trump goes to jail, Joe Biden goes
all
to
of
jail,
them.
their vice presidents go to jail. Like the Speaker of the Houses go to jail. Like if we're gonna get rid of like immunity like that, like I do, there has to be some level of allowance when it comes to the evil that they can do, the evil that men do.
Well, and you're pretty spot on with my thinking. Realistically, there's more than that for reasons, but I'll touch on a couple points. For SCOTUS and the president, these would actually have to be constitutional amendments. So one, it's not getting done no matter how much Joe wants it to.
Yeah.
2, and this is really the important thing. You're talking about Congress having to amend the Constitution and get these things done. And these are 3 co-equal branches of the government that you're talking about. You're telling me Congress can just pass amendments and give them the power over the other 2 branches?
Yeah, it'll never happen anywhere.
It,
It's
it,
all senseless pandering to the base. Just like that's our
yeah,
goal. That's what we're gonna do.
it just flies against the whole separation of powers aspect. And
Well, that's why they wanted to
Beyond
pack
that,
the courts, though, because they know they can't do the term limit things for the Supreme Court, but they can. There is precedent of them expanding the
yeah.
court. So,
But before I'm okay with term limits for SCOTUS, how about we get term limits for Congress?
yeah, I would like not. I don't even know if like necessarily like. I feel like you can only serve 2 consecutive terms, and then however long you served, you need to sit out, because then we do miss out on exceptional people like Gates or Thomas Massey, and they're never allowed to serve. So I think it should be you can only serve 2 consecutive terms, and then you need to sit out for however long that your term was before you can
Well,
re-enter. So that way, Nancy Pelosi, how long has she consecutively served in Congress for? I don't know, like 35 or 40 years.
36.
Okay, so 36. So divide that by two, and that would be, vastly different. It would force people to get in there, and it would also, increase the likelihood that they might decide that they don't want her back for her second, you know, go at it.
Yeah, we don't want a corpse back in office. We're finally getting rid of Joe.
Yeah, Dianne Feinstein was gotten rid of a couple of years ago
Yeah, but she
by
deleted
nature.
herself.
By nature, JFK was alive when he got in. That's
Ugh.
true.
I don't think JFK was alive when Pelosi first got in, but you know it would have been close.
Well, maybe she was in government in some way. Are you saying she like? There's no way she's been in Congress for 50 fucking years, right? Holy shit! Let me see.
No, she hasn't,
Let's see what.
and she hasn't been in there longer than Joe, and Joe's got 50 years in government.
Let's see. Volunteer for the Democrat Party in the 1960s. Jesus Christ, these people are old. She was first elected to Congress in 1987. Okay, there we go.
Okay, so for my 7th birthday, we got Nancy Pelosi, life-size action figure.
Ooh, oh no.
Oh, she's pictured in college with him.
Oh.
So for the people on Rumble or Twitter, we are reacting to some YouTube comments. So, you know, if you want to take part in that conversation, join us on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff.
Well, people on X
Uh,
can do it. Just
yeah.
those unfortunate
Well,
fools on Rumble. I don't say fools,
X
but it's Rumble's fault.
X was intermittent. I think I don't remember exactly how that was working yesterday, but
Or maybe it
I know
would
we
be
had
like
some people watching there.
perhaps it was like only comments from verified accounts that showed up.
No, because I have that template set up so it's anybody can reply.
Yeah, okay. Well, anywho,
It's a StreamYard thing, I'm sure.
yeah, blame StreamYard. Blame the infrastructure. We need more infrastructure funding.
Blame the infrastructure that we're using to make this happen, because that'll make them happy.
They don't know. We're just ants to them.
Speaking of, Elon Musk accused of censoring Asmongold on X. Leaks DMs. Conservatives say he's ramping up censorship.
I mean, he kind of is.
He,
So why?
he, he is, but if this story is actually true, it's fucking hilarious.
He does censorship by his own ego. He doesn't do it because like some sort of thing is telling him to do it, which is obviously better because like once he comes down from it, he usually will most of the times correct the mistake. But like he's a little bit of a man child.
Well, but you know, this is a big story because a couple weeks ago, a lot of people lost their verified check mark, and they're mad about that, and they're like, "I'm being censored." And Elon's statement was pretty accurate. He said, "Free speech does not mean that I have to pay you to say it. You're still welcome to get on the platform and say whatever you want to say. I'm just not going to pay you for that as
Yeah,
part of
not
the
but
partnership program."
he's playing those Twitter 1.0 word games with that shit though. That's kind of weak.
I get it, but
It's hella
he
weak.
spent He spent $45 billion to be able to do that too.
Yeah, but as we as people who are against censorship from Twitter 1.0, are we gonna just act like the left and just excuse it because he's on our side for most things?
Well,
So he should be
isn't
pushed
that
back against.
isn't that how it's supposed to be?
No,
When they're in power, they get to do the dumb shit. When we get in power, we got to do the exact same thing to them.
well,
Keeping the cycle going forever.
well, if you want to like just reaffirm the fact to me that we live in a simulation and no matter what we do, it's going to be that every 20, 25 years, then sure. But if we're thinking we have some sort of agency and we can break this, then yeah, we should be pushing back against Elon. And it's good that some people do because the left certainly wasn't pushing back on Jack Dorsey.
No, no. And someone was kind enough to ask Rock, you know, who banned more people on the platform, Dorsey or Elon. And I was shocked. Over the 13 years Dorsey was in charge after he built it, it was like a total of 1.6 million people. And there were policy violations, stuff like that for most of them. And Elon's over 5 million. Now,
What does that mean? Like, is this because like he's banning the bot accounts too? Like, is that included?
so the initial question asked of Grok didn't get into that. And it wasn't until I clicked on it because I have premium. I went actually and followed up on that question, and I said, "Okay, I get that Elon's banned more. What was the nature of the accounts that were being banned?" And yes, it's a lot of spam and bot accounts.
Yeah.
Now
So
he
did
is.
you ask them to minus the spam and bot accounts to see what the number is?
No, I didn't care enough to keep going from there.
Yeah. But Jack Dorsey's 1.3 million in that 13 years. That's a little deceptive because Twitter wasn't really banning anybody for almost anything until around the time Trump started running for president. So a lot of that happened in a uh, you know half the time window.
Yeah.
Elon banned his
Now
own TOS showing those DMs. Yeah.
this is important because I was watching this segment and good old Tim, he decided to look into this a little bit. He went to the terms of service, and it comes down to interpretation of whether or not this actually violates that policy. Now, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying from a plain reading of it, there is interpretation that can be drawn from it.
What did it say? The TOS, the policy.
It didn't explicitly say DMs on Twitter. It actually just said personal information.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's the anti-doxing thing, right?
Right.
If you and I have a DM history and I wanted to post it because it was particularly funny, I could do that. And a lot of people on X do the exact same thing. That doesn't make it wrong, but it does raise the question: does it violate that policy? And from a
I
plain reading, I don't believe it does.
Yeah, it's more distasteful, and it's something that people are going to look down on Elon about. But when it comes to Elon, I've always said it, and you know this. I said he's more like a temporary ally. I just don't believe he's going to be a permanent ally.
Oh,
And
he's definitely got plans.
so yeah, when you're at war, you make temporary alliances, and you know whatever his plan is, it's probably not as bad as what their plan is. So like we're just serfs to them. We beggars can't be choosers. We got to work with what we can.
So I don't know that Elon's lying about his gaming accolades. I honestly don't care, to be perfectly honest. But I don't think anyone's actually proven that he was cheating in these games. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's just speculation at this point.
He's got an ego on him, and he acts like a little kid. Like that's very clear.
Well, you don't get to be the wealthiest person on the world in the world
He kind of
without
acts
having
like
any.
I think he thinks he's Tony Stark. Like he kind of just acts like Iron. He just acts like that. He's building all this stuff for his own amusement, basically. And in the first Iron Man movie, he was funding weapons contractors until he saw what it was funding. I think he thinks he's Iron Man.
I'm waiting for his super suit then.
Hey, don't. He's probably got that shit built. He ain't showing that in public.
Oh, he's gonna break that shit out for the inauguration. Ain't nobody sneaking up and shooting him.
Mildred said he was paying people to play on his account. Phew, well, that doesn't really surprise me. Like I'm kind of wondering where he would find the time in the day to even be top
To,
ranked at a video game.
to run multiple companies, be part of Doge, play games, and tweet as much as he does.
Yeah. That doesn't shock me at all. Like the first time I heard that he was like topping what with Diablo 4 it was or something. The first time I heard that, I'm like, how is that possible? There's literally losers who live on government assistance and just play video games all day, and this dude is running like 4 huge companies, tweeting all day, flying on private jets to go golf with Donald Trump. Like, where does he find the time for this? Like, yeah, it makes sense that he's paying somebody for that. I mean, I don't know why he's doing it. Is he doing it to promote like live streaming on X? I don't know why he would be doing it. Somebody has to study like what his account does when he's not playing with it, because he has streamed before, so we could see that he does probably play sometimes. So we got to compare and contrast what the account does when he's not using it. My husband does the pop. Oh, the PvP on my account. I do his fish. Okay, look at that. What a marriage. Simpatico.
So interesting. But hey,
when
that's
when two
fair.
hearts when two hearts collide and become one, you do the PvP for your wife and you do the fishing for him. That's love right there.
That is.
Somebody asked me what the definition of love is. I'd be like, when you share accounts on a video game, that's love.
Share any kind of account. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, not too soon though. Then you get your girlfriend of like 2 months reading all your messages to all your other hoes, and then that causes a fight.
Well, maybe that was by design.
Be like, I didn't know you. What the fuck? I had a life
New
before
phone.
you. You know.
New phone. Who dis?
New phone. This Pizza Hut. Why does Pizza Hut want to go to your house later?
He was playing on the 14th highest rated account. Interesting. Might have to look into that because honestly, I don't know, and I don't really care. At the end of the day, I don't care. I
It is a
used
red
to,
flag though from a trust standpoint. But like I said, I don't trust him anyway. Like Donald Trump trusts him, and Donald Trump is the best we got. So I trust that it's going to be better than it was before. And we've had the boot on our neck constantly, and it's not like you can't just go from like negative 100 to positive 100. Like
well, I played Final Fantasy 11 for a very, very long time, and way back in the first 5 years of it, this was really before you had pay to win stuff. Where you could just buy your way all the cool shit, and there were services, Chinese companies that would do build an account for you. They level it all up, and you know, every few months, the game would actually go and delete those accounts. But people buy those, and they'd pay thousands of dollars for it. There was I believe it was a Saudi person, very wealthy,
Prince.
who I don't know if he was a prince or not,
They're all
but they
princes.
interviewed him because he was one of these people that would buy all the in-game currency, buy these accounts, all that, and they interviewed him and asked him why he keeps doing that if it's only going to get banned. He only enjoyed end game content, and he said, "Well, it's simple. I don't have time to go level up, get all this stuff again. It's just easier to buy it." And they go, "Well, that's just a waste of money." He goes, "I I have enough money to pay you to sleep with your sister and be happy about it. What do I care?"
Yeah. Those are the types of people that will never be able to relate to us. And that's kind of how Elon is. Like, he's probably more relatable than most billionaires, but like, he just
Yeah.
doesn't. Even when you're like born from struggle, once you get it and you just that's all you know. Like, it's hard to just change how your mind works.
Hey, I'd just be happy to, always have food, eat, and a transportation. And I've got
And
those
it
things.
And a rocket that you can catch and put back in place. Who
That
doesn't
that,
have
that
that?
that's actually kind of cool, mind you.
Yeah. Listen, what Elon is like he's like a I don't know, like I feel like his like thing for Neuralink is like he just wants to be in the video game. That's why he's doing all this. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I can help people. I want to be in the video game though."
He's actually not paying people. He's got his AI playing the game.
This kind of reminds me of what we spoke about on Nightcap last night when I played that
Oh,
Alex Jones
the Alex
Xenogears
Jones
video,
thing.
right? So like the globalists want to force us into the pods and eat the bugs, and Elon is like, it should be your choice to put the headset on, you know?
Yeah,
Ready Player Elon.
yeah. I don't like what you did there. The book was great. The movie, not so much.
They always show that movie on like TNT, and then I've watched the first 15 minutes of that movie at least like 37 times because I just
You've got
like
to read the book. It is so much better.
I don't even like I don't even know what it's about. Like I've like I'll be playing a game and I'm stuck in a game and it's just on the other TV and I'm just like I've seen the first 15 minutes so many times and then I just switch the channel to the basketball game.
Well, quick synopsis. It takes place 20 years from now.
Uh-oh. Oh, just like
Okay.
the great AI wars in Terminator
Yeah.
2027. We're almost there.
It's got to the point where everything is virtual reality. Everyone lives, works, and plays in this virtual simulation created by an eccentric billionaire, mind you, who was obsessed with the 80s. When he was a child, uh, he dies and he creates a game within the simulation to give controlling interest to anyone who can beat his challenge, which he's hidden three secret quests that people had to solve. And anyway, the whole movie is about navigating this world that he knew from the 80s, and trying to understand his mind.
I gotta say though, that VR stuff would absolutely change like long distance relationships because then you could actually have intimate moments with this person,
Indeed.
and you would at least feel it mentally. Like it would be an artificial construct, but you would get the mental. Because like the issue with like those losers who fiddle their whittle too much is that like you release the chemicals because and you're supposed to be with someone as you do that. So that's how the pornography addiction gets created is their happy chemicals get released for the machine, so then become addicted to that stuff. So, but now that you'd be able to like trick your brain into thinking I am physically with this person, it could at least for people who like want to see if they're compatible, it would make it would make online dating a lot easier.
So you're saying 1,000 dudes could actually test
Oh
out
god.
sleeping with that porn star?
Be like, I can't even feel anything. It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
No, this one isn't for me. Sorry, guys.
We just like Snoop said it in '94. We don't let them hoes.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Yes, ma'am.
Feds issue warning to Trump over inauguration threats. Far leftists may engage in insurrection. I,
Oh.
I understand that this is a threat assessment and they have to do what they're doing, but it's going to be part of happening during the polar vortex coming over the course of the weekend. Ain't nobody going to be out protesting, rioting in the streets on Monday. Ain't going to happen. It's going to be like
Yeah.
minus 10 degrees actual temperature.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. Even if it wasn't, I don't think it's gonna happen. When I see all these, actually, it's snowing in New York right now. Nice. Actually, when I see all these companies getting rid of their DEI, I think what they're doing is what they should have done in 2016. I think there's this like at least from the business standpoint, they're like, okay, we're gonna kind of retreat a little bit. We're gonna let him do his term, and then we're gonna see what the lay of the land is and come back out. And you even see it with the media to some degree. Like they're going to attack Trump, of course, but like there's been a bit more fair coverage, like you said with the CNN stuff about the who helped get the deal done. Like there's been many times that the only thing that existed was the truth, and CNN still lies. But this time they decided not to. I think they're going to try they're going to try to combat him, but they're going to be a little bit more careful about it, I think.
Well, we've seen their ratings, and it's
They're
become very, very clear. You know, yeah, they can rail against Donald Trump all they want. It gets clicks, but at the same time, people are tired of that. They don't want to see, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, especially considering he's now entering his final term. He can't be president again. Just let it go.
Yeah, that's what I would do because like there's no guarantee that JD Vance just wins. There's no guarantee, especially if they. Well, I don't know who they're gonna run, but
Probably be Newsom.
assuming they find someone competent who can speak words and not like have their voice tremble and do nervous laughter or poop their pants on stage, then who knows? Like the Republicans have gone up against Hillary Clinton, who couldn't stop passing out in 68-degree weather, Joe Biden, who is a decrepit old man, Kamala Harris, who's an alcoholic. Like, if they just throw someone out there who's normal and can give them like, typical Democrat bullshit speak, then who knows what could happen? They've literally ran handicapped candidates the last 3 times. Now I know they're all about inclusion, but maybe they should try going back. See, that would be appropriate if they went back. They won with Joe Biden, they won with the white male, and then they go to Newsom, except he's not handicapped, and then they win with the white male again. What would that show them? Their own DEI doesn't work.
Well, I mean, you have to consider that these people need to actually sit down and look at the reasons why they lost. So far, they haven't even begun that process, mind you.
The big companies have. Boy,
The companies have been, but again, they're sitting here, just believing that they're 100% right in their messaging, and they're being told over and over again, no, that's not what we the people want. So until they can get to that point where they're actually doing that, they're going to be running these failed candidates every time.
Yep.
Again, Donald Trump can't beat him, again, because, well, he can't run again. I don't believe for a second he's going to try to stay in power another term. I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, bookmark this video, come back and say, Chris, you're a fucking idiot. I can't believe you actually said those words out loud. And I'll take the beating there. Like, sorry, I just didn't see it happening.
I don't think Trump Jr. is going to run if JD Vance runs. I think if JD Vance were to lose in 2028, Trump Jr. would run in 2032. That's what I think.
Maybe.
Because, like, there would have to be, like, some sort of splintering. And right now, Vance is, like, he's doing all the right things that he has to do. So he's not like Mike Pence, who pretended to be this principled person. I can't believe he picked Mike Pence, by the way. Yeah, he's not like he's doing the memes. He's saying all the right things. He's even on the issues that, like, there's some in the movement that are, like, pressing issues like the Israel thing. Like, he'll kind of just play the line on that. Like, he's being very tactful with what he does. So as long as he keeps doing that, and this is a successful term for Trump, I don't think Trump Jr. is going to then run opposing to JD Vance. I think he'll see him as the heir apparent, and if it doesn't work out in 2028, let's say like he loses big against Newsom, then I think you'll see Trump Jr. run. He's not going to do it unless he has to.
No,
sort of like Trump,
like his dad.
Yeah, sort of like Trump.
He's going to wait till he's mid-50s and go, okay, I have to do this now. It's incumbent upon me to do so.
Yeah, because I don't believe J.D. Vance's presidency will go as well as a Donald Trump presidency, because he's just there's just a bigger the line of, like, cooperating with these evil forces is much lower. It's going to be much lower. Nobody can handle the pressure like Trump can. That's one of his benefits, is that this shit just kind of rolls off his shoulder.
Teflon Don.
But what also might hurt Vance with the base is that he does have an Indian wife, and there's been some miscontent.
That is a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. You
It's
know,
not a
you
problem.
race traitor, and you'd be like, listen, bro. I'd be like, see, Donald Trump would be like, excuse me, listen, she's hot, I don't care. But Vance will be like, no, no, I believe in immigration moratorium too.
Hey, why wouldn't he? She's already here. She's got her citizenship. You know,
I'm not mad at him.
he's like, I got mine. Let's put that moratorium in place.
You
But
just got to raise his kids to be like, just okay, now marry a white woman so you can like balance things better. You know?
but let's get back on topic real quick because I mean we've kind of ventured pretty far off the path.
Yeah.
The inauguration, we know people that are planning on going. We know a lot of people are. We know this security assessment happened 4 years ago and everyone ignored it. And the only reason we're talking about it now is because people ignored it then. Um, do I think something bad's going to happen? I honestly don't know, but for anyone I know that's planning on going, you know, be prepared. Something could happen.
Be careful.
You know,
I was thinking about going, but now I'm just like, I don't really feel like traveling.
I don't expect it to be a situation where we get another January 6th, uh, and they arrest people for doing dumb shit like that. But I wouldn't want to be in DC where they can do the same tactics as, hey, your phone was there. Obviously, you took part in this and we're going to get you. I just don't want to open up that can of worms.
Get one way. Oh. I don't want to get copyright. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going. It's not worth it. Like, it's probably going to be like crowded as hell. There's going to be some sort of clashing. You know, I don't want to be a part of it. It's not worth it. I don't really like. I'm. It's it's like treating politics like sports fans stuff. It's like oh, do you want to go to like. Do you want to spend a lot of money and time and effort going to the World Series game? And I'm just like, no, I'd rather not.
No, I'd rather be able to afford to go to see every other game that season.
Yeah, I'd rather
You
just go
know,
to like a really solid regular season game where the energy is going to basically be the same anyway.
Trump plans executive order to save TikTok. TikTok will shut itself down instead of divesting China. Now this is interesting. They could keep the app going, just sell it off. Uh, I noticed on the Pop Culture Crisis channel, they said Mr. Beast wants to buy and save TikTok. You know,
I saw
why not?
Kick made an offer of intent to purchase for TikTok as well. I think something's going to get done in the 11th hour. It's just
Well,
it's way too popular of an app, and Trump gained a lot of young people votes with that, and young people enjoy TikTok, and we spoke about it yesterday how they do have a solid algorithm as long as you're not a baby, I guess. They got a solid algorithm. It really shows you the things that you actually like if you use it the right way. So
that's fair.
I think he's going to see, Trump always does for things that do for him, except for, some of those people that got prosecuted in 2017. He waited a sweet time for that one. But no, yeah, well, a lot of people are going to that Red Note app, Melted, right? That Red Note. Real subtle name with that one, Red Note.
Yeah.
Just call it Red
Well,
Sun in the Sky or whatever.
and basically what's being talked about here is quite literally ByteDance is saying, no, we're going to shut it down and we're going to make sure everybody knows, all the people who are actually making money on this app knows that it is your own government doing it.
Yeah.
You know,
Trump's going to
because
say, he's going to save it.
I think so. I don't know how strong the executive order would be, but it could actually get it delayed in time to, you know, get this brought for review and make sure it has all of its legal challenges in place to actually do something.
Because if you ban TikTok, then it opens up a big Pandora's box. Like you'll be like, oh well, it's not an American company, but it's like, are any of these companies really? Is like Facebook truly an American company? Like, it operates all over the world. They basically
Huh.
have a say on what other countries can see, just like X. And most of the time, countries aren't going to ban it because, well, Rumble in France, X in Brazil, but like there was like a blood feud reason for that with Brazil.
Yeah, but I
Elon didn't
mean,
want to listen.
and you can say, Facebook's an American company because Cockburg actually owns it. He created it and whatnot. Elon's a naturalized citizen. He owns X. That's fair. But it is just that dangerous territory that we've talked about. If you can make it stick to say a Chinese company can't own property here, um, then what's stopping you from actually passing legislation just like this to ban Elon from owning X, from Zuckerberg owning Facebook? At what point do you say enough is enough, and how do you stop it from happening in the future?
It's kind of like how they forward the line a little bit, though. They'll go, "Oh, we're just doing it for international people who aren't citizens," and then they'll be like, "Well, what about naturalized citizens? Like, how do we truly know if they're for our country or not?" And then
We're
it,
we're,
it's
we're
it's
just
just yeah, it's just how you slowly edge towards being able to control and have the government have a say on what's allowed and what's not as far as an app or a company goes.
they're just going to get us down and separated out into so many different boxes that you're not going to have anybody that identifies with you anymore. You are literally going to be this one box and truly individual at that point. So now you have to hate everybody
Yeah.
and they all have to hate you because something good happens for you that didn't happen for them. Welcome to the New World Order, guys.
New world order.
All right. Well, us keep going with this
Wait,
shit show.
Melted says in the next 10 years we will have another yellow scare event on lines of what happened in World War II. I don't know. I think white men love Asian women too much. I don't think that'll happen. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, it won't be Asians this time. We'll find another group. There's no shortage of groups that we can hate. Isn't that what the
Yeah.
Germans taught us?
Well, he said yellow scare, so I assume he's talking about the Asians.
All right. Bill Burr yells free Luigi.
I just eat pudding.
Democrat policy forced insurance companies to flee the LA wildfire. Okay, so we've talked about this for the last 4 days. It's not going to stop. We talked about Bill Burr specifically yesterday, even, and he was on Jimmy Kimmel, and he was basically blaming all the people on the internet for just saying, you know, California's wildfire was mismanaged, and that's completely untrue. He said other things there, but he points out, you know, Tim points out that California's own policies have made it to where the insurance companies had to leave. It literally would have been if they would have stayed there. They weren't allowed to raise their rates, and that's been in place for a long time. Things are getting more and more expensive. Their uh, cost to replace and make people whole would have just gone out of control. Um, and I don't think with all of the insurance companies banding together, you wouldn't bankrupt all of them paying for this nonsense this time around. It it was smart for them to say, you know what, we can't provide insurance here. We just can't. And to that end, Bill Burr points out, free Luigi, send the insurance companies a message.
Man, we don't have enough time to speak about the Luigi thing, but like I've been thinking about it a lot. Like, not that I don't like condone anything he did, but like this kind of what happens when you get this mingling of government and like insurance, not government and business, like making these laws that all they do is like mess with people. Is that you're going to start to get random acts of chaos, and it's to be expected when you keep poking the bear so much, and it's not a good thing, and it's not something we should want. We should try to figure out these things before it gets to that point. But like I really wouldn't be shocked if you start to see more random acts of chaos, unfortunately. And
Well, I mean,
that's on them not to push so much, man. They like that's what happens when you do that to like a group of people that when you know you have two ends that are basically the government and big businesses, all they do is fuck the normal man, the normal dude. So like if they don't want those random acts of chaos, because you can't control 300 million people, it's impossible to just control every one of them. Perhaps you know, don't push so much.
well, it ties into the last segment. People need to have a boogeyman, and they're
Doctor
going to provide
Manhattan's the
one.
boogeyman.
This time the insurance company is the boogeyman. Tomorrow, who knows who the boogeyman is going to be?
Shit, insurance company been my boogeyman for 33 years.
Oh, sorry, Celtic spirits. You know, I don't claim to be highly intelligent.
I do. I don't understand what you even said in the first comment. That's why I didn't read it.
You
Go
know,
back to Ireland.
ooh, that's just mean.
I know.
All right. Well, I'm going to continue commenting on the low channels.
Excuse us, we're not high in the sky. Got to start
I,
somewhere.
I'm not smart. Or
I,
what did Forrest Gump say? Jenny,
I'm
I'm
not a
not a
smart man.
smart man. All right. This is the one you got to be careful on, Joey. Non-binary liberals take months of leave after being misgendered. Woke officials furious and rage quits.
Non-binary elected official. Okay, takes months long mental health leave after being. Oh God, fire them.
So, so they're not actually showing up to the um, meetings physically. They're doing Zoom meetings, and they're saying it's not safe for them to go there uh, and get harassed. There's something bad that would happen, et cetera, et cetera. Now they discuss the toxic workplace that they have to deal with. You know, being misgendered, and hey, being misgendered is going to happen. From time to time. I'm not going to look at you, Joey, and automatically assume that you're a woman if that's what you happen to identify as. And until you tell me, I don't know otherwise.
When I had long hair and people looked at me from behind when I was in like middle school and high school, like I would routinely get, and then I turn around and they go, "Oh, oh."
I'm sorry, ma'am. But so yeah, misgendering is going to happen, and fine. Be upset about that, but quitting over it, seriously. It was some of the other comments that make it different. I mean, one of the council people referred to them as it. Yeah.
I'd refer to them as a Pokemon.
Anyway, so I honestly don't know.
Good riddance. Goodbye.
We didn't go back yet. The back button didn't work in time. Want to talk?
Got to fix your
Skype all you.
yeah,
We'll
you gotta
talk.
fix your mouse then.
Tyler today news has misgendered at work to get workman's comp. No.
No, you get 3 months off with pay though.
Hey, some
I'd
some of
take
those
it.
jobs. That's a benefit.
I would take it. And frankly, I would
All,
take it.
all in all, what's happening is these words, yes, while they may hurt your feelings, they're not acts of violence. I'm sorry. You know, if you think they are, you've got the wrong sense of self worth.
Yeah, I mean, words could be used to provoke, of course. And provoking, it's like what Ron Paul, if I equate it to sanctions are an act of war. You could argue that like some certain like hurtful language can provoke somebody to do something, but like just changing the line on what actually hurtful is, just feel like, oh well, because I claimed to have this imaginary feeling, it means that this is hurtful now. And it's like, well, I could just basically craft any feeling that I have and find any word and say it's hurtful. So it's like it's not the intent of the it's not the intent of what hurtful is.
Apparently, I'm echoing again, Joey. But it's an act of violence on your fragile confidence. Well, you need to work on your confidence. You know, is what it is. We get what 3 months of 3 months off when having a baby. Seems a bit much for your feelings being hurt. Yeah.
Feelings are important.
Can we stand in a firing line? Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been waiting for to stand in the firing line.
Do I
Please.
have to wear a blindfold or can I just stare at my attackers?
I mean, maybe they're a fan of Bonnie Blue. That was a firing line.
Ooh. But I'm not asking what you stand for because you can stand for what you want to stand for. I'm good with that. I'm good
How could
with Joey standing for what he wants to stand for.
how could you stand for anything when you're always sitting down?
Ooh.
So is that it for the segments?
Well, for the most part, yeah.
What was like the next one? Was this
The
the
next
like
one,
the
pop culture crisis, and we already covered what I wanted to say there. Mr.
perfect?
Beast wants to buy TikTok.
Well, let's see if he does it. I don't. Yeah, I think somebody else will, or Trump
Say,
will
I I,
pull
I,
magic
I
out of
know
his hat.
dude's got a bit of money, but I don't know if he has TikTok buying money.
What is that like? That Busta Rhymes song, "Arab Money." We call it TikTok money.
Well, I mean, Twitter took $45 billion for Elon Musk. I don't think Mr. Beast has $45 billion to buy TikTok.
Well,
Not that I think they're valued that high, but
it's 40. It was 45 billion because like he was like they needed an offer they couldn't refuse. I don't know if it was like actually 45 billion.
it was 44 point something because he submitted the offer and then their price went down or it went up and then it went down and they forced him to buy it at 45.
Yeah, so like if he was like Jeff Bezos or something, they'd probably sell it for like 20 billion. But because it was Elon, they're just like, all right, we like I could give you an offer you won't refuse.
So, we stand for Donald Trump and the Republican Party. Good. I'm happy for you. I like Donald Trump and the Republican Party for the most part. There's some I kind of wish weren't in it, but
I stand for truth, justice, and the American way.
well,
Dun, dun,
good
dun,
enough.
dun, dun, dun.
All right, guys, it's that time of day again. We got to wind down. Joey, give me some final thoughts. Something to get me through till the next time I talk to you.
I just want to remind everyone who wasn't here before, magic always comes at a price.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with practice gratitude, eat healthy, get fit, stay hydrated, and for God's sakes, guys, let's go fishing. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, the episode was a surprising one. The news usually is. If you want to follow us and get more content from us, you can follow us at Quiet Part Pod at YouTube, Quiet Part Pod on Rumble, at Real Chris Noski on X. And of course, right here, YouTube is going to show you videos that they think you might like because you're already watching this one. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next time.